So recently I released these little pocket zines full of excerpts from books that I really enjoyed. They're made out of a single sheet of paper, printed on one side, and they're just a super cute and compact way of showcasing writing or drawing or both. And some of you commented and asked how you could go about making your own pocket zine. So this video is for you. So there's really two things you need to know to make one of these zines, and the first is how do you fold it, and the second one is how do you format it. So for the folding part, there's a whole bunch of videos on that. Austin Kleon has a really fabulous one that honestly I can't add anything to, but I'll give you a brief overview of it here. You're gonna take a piece of paper and fold it in half, and then you're gonna fold it in half again, and then you're gonna fold it in half one more time. So you have something that looks like a little book. We're not quite done. You have to unfold it twice now, and then you're going to find the long edge that is folded, so not the open edge, but the long folded edge. You're gonna need to tear along that crease from the middle of the folded edge down to the center, and right then you're gonna need to stop. Then you're gonna need to unfold it so you have your whole sheet of paper with a hole in the middle. Fold it in half, this time lengthwise, so you've got a very long, thin sheet of paper. And then you're gonna need to sort of push it together towards the middle and fold it over into a book. If you want the full detailed description, I have a longer video linked in the description below. And now if you're hand drawing your zine, you're done. You can just take a pen or pencil and have fun. If, however, you want to include elements of type or anything digital, maybe you're trying to print some of your digital art or short stories or poetry, then this second part is for you, formatting. So the tricky part about formatting one of these is that half of your words or images are going to need to be upside down, because when you print it all out, it'll actually look like this. So I've drawn it on the screen. You're gonna have your piece of paper divided into 8 pages, once across and then 3 times up and down. And from the way I'm looking at it, your bottom right page will be your front cover. Then the top 4 pages will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and those will be upside down. And then you'll finish with 5, 6, and the back cover on the bottom. So it should all look like this. And here's an example of one of the PDFs I made as part of my Pocket library. So you can see that the bottom text is all right side up and the top pages are all upside down. Again, when you print this out and fold it, they will all be right side up, but just formatting wise, you need to know what pages go where. So what I would recommend is go to canva.com. I'm not sponsored by Canva. They're just the easiest thing I can think of to use for something like this. You won't be able to use something like Google Docs or Microsoft Word for this, at least not to my knowledge, at least not easily, because you need to be able to rotate text and that gets really clunky in those programs. So you're gonna wanna go to Canva and open up a letter-sized document if you're from North America, or an A4 document if you're from somewhere else. I recommend opening this in landscape format, so horizontally, just makes it sort of easier to see. So now you've got your document open. Now you could just try and eyeball it, but I recommend you go to File, Settings, and then Add Guides. Then you can click Custom and do 4 columns, 2 rows, no gap, no margin. And you should end up with something like this that divides your screen up nicely into 8 equal parts that are perfectly aligned with where we're going to want to fold. These guides will not show up when you print, they're just there to help you lay your document out. Now you can add a text box, resize it so it fills up most but not all of the box. Remember, you want to leave a little bit of room for folding error and printing margin and things like that. One really important note, your text alignment. You can do whatever you want. I recommend block justified, so that's the setting where it makes the left and right side of the text block have even straight lines, as opposed to left justified, which is completely straight on the left but ragged on the right, or centered. The reason for that is just most books look like that, so you can obviously do whatever you want, but I find block justified tends to look the neatest if you're trying to write prose. If you have like poetry or something else, you can obviously do left justified or whatever type you want. Once you've done that, I recommend just duplicating the text box so that you can make sure all of your text blocks will be the same size. Duplicate and drag your text box over until all 4 of the bottom sections are full, and then obviously fill them in with your text so they don't all say the exact same thing. If you're using illustrations or any sort of images, you can upload those and move them into your zine as you deem appropriate, and you'll just have to sort of finagle the text around to make that fit. Hey, Tim here. I'm editing and I'm realizing that in the Canva example I'm making right now, I'm starting with pages 1, 2, 3, and 4, which in the paper example were the top half, the upside down part. So sorry if that's confusing. Just remember, it doesn't really matter which side you start with. So if you want to start with your cover, that's okay. You're just going to make one half and then the other half. So here we go. We're going to start making the second half, which in this case is the side with a cover. Now the other part gets complicated. You can try doing it upside down. So what you can do is just duplicate the text box and rotate it and try and edit it upside down. However, as I've found out, if you try and proofread upside down, it's very likely you'll make a mistake. So what I do instead is once I'm happy with one half of the zine, I duplicate the entire page and make the top half of the zine right side up here. So that will include my front cover and my back cover and my last 2 pages. And then once I'm happy with all of those, I'll select all of them, copy them, move them back up to this first page where my official version is, paste them, and then I'll just rotate those 180 degrees. And I realize it sounds complicated as I'm saying it, but I promise you it is easier than doing this individually, and you'll be at least sure it lines up. And I will click and drag until those are all in place too. Now, once that's done, all you have to do is download as a PDF. I would make sure you choose to flatten your PDF so that way nothing moves around. Then you can print it, double check that your printer hasn't cut anything off or misaligned anything, and you should be good to follow the folding instructions in the link below. And yeah, you're golden. I may have overcomplicated it, but that's the way that I do it, and it makes perfect sense to me. So hopefully it's helpful for you. I'm excited to see what kind of things you guys make. If you'd like to see some of my zines for reference, you can visit the link in the description. Feel free to copy any of the formatting or to take it in a totally new direction. Thanks so much and have a great day.